Welcome to the Folsom Frenzy podcast, a film review segment that we're going to start doing. I'll pop in intermittently on the webcam here so you can see us here. Here's a look at their all-22 film. We're looking just at the offense today. Let's get into it. So right away, we got a run play, and we do a great job coming out and setting the tone. I love the play call on this first one. We spread them out a little bit, and then first thing I want to give your attention to is Philip Houston comes here and seals a block, does a great job. 5 has to sit here because what we do is give here, and Shador could pull it. So he has to respect the read every time, which is why he's able to just ignore it. Benson's able to come down, chip on this, and then continue to flow. Now, because this action is here, 11 flows over here and ends up in a place where Benson can just erase him, and then it opens up a nice big lane right there. You'll see what I mean when I clear all my drawings, and then we can play the clip. That's excellent work. Excellent work. We mentioned it on the pod about how Baylor stunts quite a bit, stunts and twists. I'm gonna try so hard with the ums today, but when you're doing film review, this is tough. So they run a stunt here. What we're doing, we're trying to run the ball again that way. But what happens is this guy comes here and he comes here. Tyler Brown does a great job of getting back and getting in front of him, but Seaton is caught a little bit off guard, and this guy ends up making the play. We have to have a little bit better play there. This is just a development for the offensive line, and I think they kind of adjusted down the line in the game. But here comes the clip, right? There's that handoff, and you can see the lane we're trying to build right here. Hank Zielinskis is going to come up and hit that linebacker. If Jordan can hold that block there, the lane is, hang on, I'll draw it for you. The lane is right there, right? Because he's going to come here and seal there. Next closest guy is going to be 11, but instead we have Seaton here that's getting beat. Ends up in a loss on the play. Shoot. Bummer. All right, so this is a pass play when we come out. And a couple of things I want to point out here. Okay, we're in a 2x2 set. Travis is going to be by himself here, kind of running a skinny post. Ignore it on my screen there. Jimmy's going to come in and kind of run a dig here. He's kind of on a streak as well, and this guy just kind of comes to the flat. Now, a lot of the times that we are in pistol, we've shown that we are running, so we don't have, based on the well-off media, we were adding, pass plays into the pistol last week. So this is all going to be relatively new stuff. We fake the handoff here, and then no one really gets open. But this is also a case in point to us when we were saying that Shador does, in fact, have a little bit of time in the pocket. Okay? The film kind of freezes here. It's just the version that's uploaded. So you can see right away what they did. Their safety, so that safety started here. He immediately gets outside here, and this safety's out here covering deep, right? So what does that tell us right away? That's a cover 2, okay? And this guy is carrying. So usually when you see a cover 2, this guy's going to be in the flat. There's no flat threat here, so he's just carrying Travis. Eventually, Micah Welch does get out here, and he'll get carried here. Now, what isn't so good is that Jimmy is actually cutting his route directly into where these two zone guys are, so he doesn't get open. This guy's covered. Micah doesn't come open until late. So despite the time that Shador does have on this play, we are schemed. Everything is covered, right? Everything is covered. So let's play that clip so you can see it through. Nothing really comes open. Yeah, so here's where that freeze frame. So he's covered. Everything's covered. We take a sack. Now, when we watch from this back view, all I'm going to do is just count the seconds for you. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. You got to get rid of it, right? We saw from that last freeze frame, he had the guys in the flats. They were covered, but you can sail the ball over their heads, and then it's not intentional grounding because you have a receiver in the area. These are things that we have to be smart about. I don't want Shador taking hits. So things to think about. So this ends up being an encroachment on the defense, so it's a free play, but also Philip Houston gets beat right off the bat. Right here, Shador has no time. Reason I want to point that out is because when I play this clip, I don't want you to watch, the snap and the ball. We know the sack's coming. I want you to watch right here. Okay, oh my goodness, he gets this guy turned around, and he is right by himself in exactly the weakness of the defense. It is really phenomenal route running by Wester here. Boom, drops him. Look at that. This DB is absolutely just lost that little hesitation move where he just cut out and then cut back in. This guy, it has to carry Travis. He is by himself behind the defense. If Shador has time, this is a touchdown. All right. So, there are things that there's meat on the bones that we are leaving out there that we have to address, that we have to, tighten things up just a little bit. And then, we'll start seeing those big plays like we did against, like, look at how open he is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then maybe he peels off in time, but I doubt it. Now we'll watch from that back angle, and you can see Philip just get toasted right off the line. Barely gets a chip on that shoulder, and that's just not enough. Now, Shador, you got to know and got to recognize that if we step up here so that it improves Phillips' angle a little bit, that we're going to be able to get that throw off. It's a big ask of a quarterback, though. Tough. Here's a run play. Here's a run play. It's a little bit easier to see from the back angle, and we'll see that here in a second. But they slant one way, and we just Tyler Brown just absolutely whiffs on that block, which yields in a loss on the play. When we see from the back angle, it's a little bit easier to see. I'll draw it out here. So these guys are all slanting this way. Okay. Tyler Brown doesn't expect it. He puts his head over here, and this guy's just able to rip right through him and rip that in that play. Obviously, we were trying to get that push to go that way, and he was expecting this guy to flow in that direction, which is why he put his head there. Happens, but unfortunate. Oof. All right, let me give you the play art of this one before we play the clip, and I'll talk you through it. I really like this concept, and Shador runs it really, really well. So what we'll do is we will motion our tight end over. He will stay in motion, so you'll see him hop his feet here, and then he'll come down and hit this guy, right? Every time we run this motion, this is kind of the action that we see is we want to seal the end to allow Shador to get out this way. Now, why do we want to get out this way? We're just running a concept to put this guy in conflict, okay? I'll switch colors here so you can see a little bit more clearly. Okay, so what's going to happen now? Jimmy Horn is going to come out here, and he's going to run a little out route. Travis is going to take his man deep, which is going to occupy that corner, okay? And then Micah, I think, is going to come here into the flats. We see this concept a lot, and it's very important that this tight end maintains that block, make sure this guy doesn't get a free runner, and he does a great job, and you'll see it on the clip. Now, this guy, no matter what he does, he's wrong. If he sits back on Jimmy Horn, Shador's going to take the flat. If he comes up on the flat, he's going to hit Jimmy Horn on that dig here, because the only other person that can come and help is this safety, and that safety is going to have to cover a lot of ground in order to get there. So this is a great concept against the defense that they called, and Shador runs it perfectly. So here's the clip. Okay, so there's that motion. Watch him chip block there on the end, and then he does a great job carrying. And you can see Travis is just taking off, occupying that corner. Jimmy has just come out of his break, and all Shador is looking at is this guy. And you can see this guy is coming downhill. So he gives Jimmy the ball. It's great football. That's great football. Here's that back view. There's the motion. Hops his feet. Boom. Great block. Layers of throw. Excellent. All right, so here we have a complete pass, and right away, what we're looking at is we're watching the safeties. And you can see the safeties here are much more inside than they normally are when they run that cover two. When they run that cover two, this safety is almost on the hash, right? So that difference there makes a difference. So Shador reads this as cover four. So he's got a fourth. Oh my goodness. He's got a fourth. He's got a fourth. He's got a fourth. And then this guy would have like hook curl area. So what happens is this guy runs that little out route. We know that this guy's going to have to run with him. We just take the bet that our guy's going to win, and this guy's occupying that corner. So this route comes open. Now, if they're running a cover two, like they were some of the other times, okay, then this guy would be playing the flats, and how we'd read that is this guy would be a little bit further out because that means he has to get over the top on that route. And so if that were the case, this guy would be running right into here, and that would be a dangerous throw. And also to the boundary against the cover two, that's going to be tough. So great read from Shador here, great execution. We'll play the clip here so you can see them drop into quarters. Boom. And we know that this guy has to run with him. He's not going to be able to stick with us. No chance, right? Open on that boundary. On the pod, I had mentioned how we were missing some reads and cutback lanes. This is one of those times. Where we're bouncing the outside actually works. I think what we wanted to do here is actually run off of Tyler Brown, but they don't win their blocks. So we wanted to go here and try to get the ball right there. They don't necessarily win their blocks, and we just bounce it outside. Get kind of lucky. I think Seton probably could have been called for a hold here, but I'm not gonna. We're gonna respect the stripes. So right away, boom, Tyler Brown. You can see that they're kind of turned that way. You can see that lane, I think, is where they wanted to go, like right here. We just don't move people enough to quite open that up. So we bounce outside, and it ends up being okay. Back to when I said I think Seton probably could have been called for a hold here. Watch how he grabs a hold right there. I think that probably could have been called a hold. So we got to be careful of that. Running backs don't put Seton in a position like that, right? Like he's clearly turning him, pushing him away that way, and when you bounce it out, it's just so easy to get a hold there. Running backs need to be able to hit small holes. There was a tiny hole there. You got to pick your feet up, get skinny, and get through that hole. But let's try. We want to try to do our best to fit in the run lanes of where they're designed to avoid those penalties. I just don't know if we are an RPO team. So I'll talk you through this play before it happens. We can kind of see. We have here. He's reading here. I think he's reading this end, and then Jimmy Horn Jr. is coming out here. And so Shador keeps it and runs this way. I think this guy stints with him, so he ends up passing it here. This guy's just so good at getting off his blocks that it ends up being a no gain. Passes a little bit behind, so we actually lose yards. I just don't like RPOs. In general, I never played in an offense that utilized them very much, so maybe that's just the inner boomer in me. But we look here, okay, there's that motion, there's that fake, so we're seeing if they're in man and assuming we're going to win blocks here. And I'll tell you what, like Baylor's guys, they're pretty good. Their DBs here and their safeties, they get downhill quick, they get off the block, they make plays. And it showed all night. God, that's a great block shed. And Shador, a little bit behind Jimmy. That's tough. That's a great move. Turn something out of nothing. When we watch the back view, right, I just don't even think we have much of a running advantage right here. This guy from the end looks like he's going to come in here, which means we have a hat there, I guess. Maybe we might be able to get outside, but he looks like pretty good outside contain. We just aren't able to get the same type of push when we run an RPO versus, when they're just allowed to run block, right? Right here, maybe there's a little bit of a run lane here if he cuts back. So I take back what I said, but ugh, great move, Jimmy. Make something out of nothing. All right, I'm going to claim ignorance. I'm not exactly sure I know what defense Baylor was running here, but after the snap, right, Travis comes in, runs a little dig. That's who Shador goes and finds. We have a running back coming out here, and then we have a little corner out here, and then this guy kind of runs a slant, maybe a little bit deeper than that. This guy gets over the top here. This guy's over here. It kind of looks like a cover two, but they match up on this side. Pretty interesting concept, but it kind of gets Travis open, which is nice. We'll just play it through the clip here, right? But it was a lot of the night they were leaving the middle of the field pretty open, right? So when I paused the video right there, that's a lot of field with no guys going over there. And luckily, we have a route going to attack that exact space. But that was there all night. Okay, right? He looks like he has a cover two. This guy looks like maybe it's a cover six where this guy, where that corner here is covering a fourth. This guy's covering a fourth, and then this guy's getting a whole half. That may be it. So cover six, so fourth. This guy just gets overcommitted this way, and there's nobody here. Take anybody. I wonder if they blitzed. Maybe we should see if they blitzed. Stand by. Okay, they did not blitz, but here's something that I do have an issue with, right? Both running backs came out over here. 1, 2. One was a pre-motion. This was the pre-motion guy, and this is the guy that just left. This is one guy can cover two of them. We're not utilizing space. At least send a guy out here. There's no one here. Anyways, rest of that clip. There's Travis coming open in the middle of the field. Boop, make a move. Get up the field. Travis is just special. Just special. Okay, from the back view. So Charlie goes off that way, and then Draylon Mitter goes off that way. That's bad play design. Sorry, Chase. Pat Shermer is suspect here. Oh, what a great block by Benson. Did y'all see that? Let's back it up. Watch Benson just toss this man like a rag doll. Number 67. Get off me. Gets them both down. That's awesome. Okay. Wide open. Travis makes a move. That's great. So this is one of the plays that Chase is bringing up about how we want to get some of our more athletic guys into space and attack on the edge. I mean, yes, but against this secondary group, it is going to be tough. So what we do is we run this read option right away, right, where Shador's looking. Oh my goodness, please. Shador's looking right here to get this read on this guy. Okay, he ends up pulling it, and the options are as follows: he can run it if this guy really collapsed hard, or we have Draylon Miller coming out here where he can throw it to him. Right, so he decides to throw it to him because what we have is 1, 2. We are betting our guys win. Timmons doesn't win. Terrell Timmons does not win. He completely whiffs on this guy. Luckily, Draylon Miller makes him tackle a ghost, which is awesome. But this is matchups, right? We have to have this block if we're going to make this throw. We cannot let our guy just get left out on an island for a cornerback to come up and make a play like that. So here's that play. Okay. Boom, there's that read. You can see Shador's looking right at that end. And what he's also looking at and seeing is if there any other guy that popped out right away, seeing if it's zone, because if it is, obviously this out route's not going to be open, right? No one popped out. They kind of read up and sucked in. So he's thinking we have a lot of space. Okay. Timmons just, I don't know what Timmons does. He gets up the field and probably should have been a no gain on the play, but Draylon's like that. Wow, that's a great move. Whoop. That's nice. So on the podcast, I said we were running hitches. It wasn't really hitches, I guess. It was a like spot play. This is great against zone, but Baylor runs this very disciplined zone matchup scheme. Let me actually talk you through that play. Let me hit play, back up. Okay. So I can show you what we're looking for. Okay. So what's happening here, okay, is we are going to get a bunch. If I can get my stylus going, we're going to get a bunch. He's going to come here and sit. He's going to come here and sit. Or actually, I'm sorry. He's going to go out and sit. He's going to come here and sit. He's going to come here and sit, right? So we have guys that are just sitting shallow. Now, when they're playing a zone and they don't have that matchup principle, usually one of these two guys sitting is going to sit in a spot that's, susceptible. But what happens is that Baylor came prepared. This guy is just taking whichever one's the outside guy. This one's going to take the middle guy, and this one's going to take the inside guy. You can tell because the moment you can see they're talking already. His eyes go inside, his go straight forward, and his come in. His come inside to see who's coming his way, and then they just match up accordingly. No one gets open here. That's why Shedeur has to run. So let's take a look. Okay, watch that inside guy. Watch his eyes. Boom. Eyes right now are going directly to that bunch, and he's seeing what is coming towards me. Okay, he's straightforward, and then this guy's seeing who is coming outside. All right, this is the perfect way to play this. Boom, look, matched up, he's not open. Matched up, he's not open. Matched up, he's not open, and Travis is getting basically double teamed out here, and this guy's coming out, and he's covered too. All right. No one is open. There's nowhere for Shedeur to throw the ball, and just not a good concept against this defense. Great play by Shedeur though. And once again, this is a pretty good rep from the offensive line here, right? They rush 4, they pick it up. Jordan Seaton sticks with his man. Tyler Brown sticks with his man, even though they switch, right? Watch 56 and 77 here. 10 goes outside. They don't pass it off. Tyler Brown's just like, I'm going to ride with him. Jordan Seaton's like, great, I'm going to ride with mine. Opens up the hole, and Shedeur's able to step up. And as we know, no one was open, so that was a great rep from those two to make sure that Shedeur didn't get hit there. All right, so we come right back to this trips look. We just saw this and how they covered it. They don't cover it that same way. They run a man here. Rush 5. No, they drop 2 back, right? They run a man here with these 2 buzzing down, so they're trying to take away that flat route. So let me back up so you can see the formation beforehand. Okay, so they are manned up here. Okay, he comes in here. The one that's guarding here is this guy. Okay, he goes out. LaJohntay Wester goes out. He is wide open, unbelievably wide open. But unfortunately, Shedeur was locked in on Travis. We get the DPI, which was great. But just watch how open Wester is here. Oh, I'm sorry. The backside, the backside safety was the one that's covering Wester, manned up there. So, yeah, there's no chance he's getting to Wester on this outside, right? Like they expect him. Let me draw it for you. They expect this guy to cover here when he's running. Oh my goodness, this way. There's no way. There's no way that's coverable, right? Shedeur's got to survey the whole field, not just lock in on one receiver here, because they have Travis pretty well covered here. They did a pretty good job, right? And you can see that buzz. They're trying to take away those short routes. Look at how wide open Wester is. That's a walk-in. We can also check the O-line, see how they did here. I mean, this has got to be an immediate throw, though, regardless. I mean, a little bit of pressure right away. We'll see that back view. That simulated pressure let someone run free. So they brought two guys up, and then two guys that they brought back occupied some guys. So number 5 is the one that runs free in here, kind of collapses that pocket this way. These two guys are here and then bailing, right? So these two guys get occupied. He's here. He steps out. And this guy comes in. Okay. Boom. So there's that simulated pressure, occupies those two, and then they have an extra guy coming off the edge. So they only rush 4, but where those 4 came from threw us off. That's why the pocket collapsed. But you can also see right away, Shedeur is watching Travis the whole time. From the snap of the ball, he doesn't even look left. Nope. Tough. Okay, so once again, it's that same concept, except this time the motion is coming from over here. So once again, we're going to motion this guy here, and he's going to stay in motion. His job is to hit this defensive end. He has to steal this defensive end, allowing for Shedeur to come out here. Then we will have one guy running a streak, one guy running an out, and Micah coming to the flats, putting it would be this guy in conflict, because more than likely that guy's taking, right? Unfortunately, we missed the block and we have to get rid of it, and it ends up being a sack, I think. I didn't watch the full play before I started recording. All right, there's that one. Completely whiff on that block. Yep. So we're putting that guy in conflict. You can see he's going to come up to this flat route. Travis is going to come open there, but because we missed that block, we got nothing. Not a sack. We do end up giving a sack another time that we run this. All right, there it is. Whiffs on the block, and Shedeur has to get rid of it. Can't even see Travis coming open, but Travis did come open there. Bad luck. All right, this is one where I think we missed the read as a running back. So what we're going to have is we're going to have a motion this way, and we're going to have a handoff. There's going to be a split second where you're going to see a slight lane where he could have cut up. Instead, he tries to bounce outside, and we end up getting a no gain. And I'll pause it right when you see that lane. It's there for a split second. Okay, there's the motion, and right, boom. Okay, you can see the formation of that lane right there. So he's already hit the gas, which is causing the angles. But if we're a little bit more patient, he's half a step this way. If he cuts this way, right, Jordan has the angle here. Here's a seal block, and this guy's on the inside here. The next guy you have to worry about is the safety. We're at least getting a 10-yard gain, and we have a pretty solid block out here. Okay. Instead, we try to bounce it outside. Nothing comes of it. But this is just one of those examples where I think we need to be a little bit more patient when waiting for those run lanes. See it from the backside. Right. You can see it right there. Right forming. It's there and then it's gone. End up taking a loss. Tough luck. So this is the first long bomb to Will Sheppard on the sideline that was originally called a catch and then overruled. Right here, I think Shedeur was probably taking Will Sheppard no matter what. He liked that matchup. The safeties weren't playing out. It looks like they're in that quarters coverage. I would have preferred if we looked towards the middle, because right now I see this guy is more open than this guy. Even though he's kind of in front of him, but not enough for me to really make me think that's going to be a great ball. We'll play it from the beginning so you can see him come open right in the middle, right? We want to watch him. He's going to come open right here. Boom, put it on him. That guy has to close on him. That's a first down. Instead, we're throwing a long bomb into double coverage. Just can't have that. Great effort from Will Shepherd there, though. Not our best rep from the O-line here, but this is why wide receivers you need to keep running. So they come out in this look, and right now, if I were to tell you, I mean, we're a little bit narrow in our initial lineup here. Oh, never mind. We do have an edge guy there, so disregard. But right, they come out and looking like this. You would probably think it's quarters. They actually drop back into a cover 2. You can tell. Just read the safeties, right? Like, look at how far back he's bailing. This guy's already really close to the boundary, which means these. Let me draw it for you. Okay, right? You can see this guy's already peeling off, right? If it was quarters, he'd be more straight back. This guy's already on this half over here, which means this guy's in flat, and the guy over here is in flat, and this guy's going to have, up here. Our O-line falls apart here, so none of these routes matter. Ends up being Travis coming all the way across, and we find him there. Okay, this is why you keep running. This is a broken play turned into a positive play just by effort and high IQ, right? Shador has no time. Travis keeps running. Bang. Love that. One highlight from this play is Jordan Seaton tosses 40 like a rag doll. And that's pretty fun to watch, right? Benson gets beat right away. I'm not sure what this step down was. Doesn't look like him and Hank were on the same page. I think he's expecting Hank to go over. Looks like they were supposed to run a tackle and twist here, right? Because 46 gets up really quick and gets to outside contain, and then 0 comes back inside. That's just a terrible route from the O-line. But watch Jordan Seaton here. Get down, trip. Can't call a trip on your own team. That's just being stronger than your opponent. That was awesome. This should have been a touchdown. If Shador lets this one rip, it's a touchdown. They're playing a zone, but they've again modified it so that it's like a matchup. If someone runs into you in the zone initially, you just stick with them. So this guy sticks here. Originally, Jimmy Horn kind of runs this little crosser. When he gets here, he realizes the safety's even with him, and he just turns tail and runs. You can see Shador kind of point. They have another safety that's kind of over here. And so that's why I think Shador kind of guided him this way so he could throw away from that other safety. Now, Shador underthrows it, and we have to get a pass interference, but you got to let it rip here and let Jimmy run under it. So watch Jimmy up top. Boom. Comes across. So realizes he's even. Goes here, points up. Find him. Short. Dang it. Right? Like, that was open grass over here. I'd like to see Shador kind of lead him to it, let him run under it, let him, use his speed. But watch this route from the O-line, right? Like, no one can give the O-line crap. That's so much time. Okay? Now, let's break down what the defense did here. Okay? Look. They have guys coming in. Number 11's coming in. This guy's coming in. And they pass it off really, really, really well to make sure everyone is accounted for and that Shador stays upright. Okay? Hank with a great pickup. Look at that twist. Hank picks him up and Micah picks him up. Great rep from the offensive line there and running back. When we call for us to be under center more, it's because we see things like this. We take one under center and we pull a guard into tackle here, and he's just able to get up and gets like a 5-6 yard gain just by power of formation, right? Like, we're not a bad run blocking team. We just sometimes are over reliant on the RPO and just don't allow our guys to just go and run block. Right? Boom. There's a guard, tackle, great seal, get up, 5-6 yard gain, easy. All right, let's watch the back view. Oh, I guess it's a guard and a tight end, right? Great seal on 5, great block on 11 there by Smalls, springs him for an extra couple yards. That's all we need, right? Like, we need some sort of lead blocker through the hole. to just help our run game be a little bit more successful. So when Chase said he likes to get guys out in space and let them make plays, I don't know if I love attacking the edge against these DBs because they get downhill so fast, right? We see here, we go out here, we attack here, and this guy's just able to come up and just make a play, basically at the line of scrimmage. Nothing on this play, just a big old nothing burger. God, look at that closing speed, right? Like Baylor's got some guys. Baylor has got some guys. This is a completed pass and another great rep from the offensive line. Okay. Once again, I said on the podcast that we were picking up stunts and we were giving time for Shador, and I stand on business, right? 11 comes here, 5 comes all the way here. We have 50 going here. You know how easy it would be to have someone just run free and get a free hit at Shador? Instead, we're able to pass it off, and he's able to stand free. Okay. Boom. They rush 5, 50 and 0 go in. Look at the way we pass this off. No one's able to get close to him. We're able to complete a pass. That's awesome. That's great. That's great O-line play. This O-line giveth and it taketh away. This is a bad rep from the O-line here. Okay. But I would also love to see our wide receivers run the scramble drill a little bit better for Shador here. I believe it's Zelinskis that just whiffs. Yep. Right on that stunt. We'll get a better view. They stunted here, and he just whiffs, forcing Shador out of the pocket this way, right? Moment that you see Shador running this way, Wester, you got to stop, run with him, right? Or stop and sit over here where there's space. Don't keep coming this way, making that pass further and harder for him. All right, scramble for your life. What I love to see is the effort, right? When I talk about this O-line doesn't quit blocking. Hank missed this block, comes back, says, I'm still going to protect him, right? Right here, I'd love for Shador to set back up and try to make a throw here, right? I'd try to find someone, if nothing else, get it out, okay? This is a little bit of a dangerous throw. I can see what he sees here. He sees this guy. He sees Travis Hunter coming up. But again, these guys' closing speed, his hips directly towards him. He's going to come here. Travis Hunter gets smoked. Just smoked here. Okay. Not a great play all around. Lots to improve on. Oof. Not ideal. Yep. Hank misses number 10 on that stunt. Oofta. Comes back. Nothing open. Ooh. Dangerous hits for Travis to be taken. All right. Baylor ran a lot of mofo. Middle of the field open. Okay. Right here, I would have preferred to see at least for Shador to look at Jimmy right here, right? Because this guy goes here. He kind of comes here. This middle of the field is open. If you layer that throw, maybe lead him a little bit away from here, right? You're going to be just fine. Instead, he's staring down this guy, and this guy had great coverage. For those that were watching, and it said that it felt like our wide receivers were in hell, as Chase said. Yeah, that was the case. That's phenomenal coverage on Will Shepherd there. And on the outside, too, I don't know who that is up top, but he's getting blanketed as well. Jimmy Horn was open for a minute, closes down on those two safeties late. So this has to be an anticipation throw, right? Boom. Right now, you see both those safeties backing up. Looks like a cover 4. You know Jimmy's going to come right here, layer that throw right now. You got to release that throw right now, lead him to in that way. That will be a nice completion, right? You can see how he'd be coming open, getting that ball like right there, catching it right at the 10. Layer that ball. It turns out when 3 out of the 5 of your O-linemen get beat, it's not a great rep. Benson, Zelinski, or sorry, not Benson. Brown, Benson, and Houston all get beat, and Shador takes a hit here. They stunt again, so 0 comes in. We need Hank and Brown to pass this off, right? You can see how they twisted. Both of them are reaching and lunging. Both of them manage to stay on their feet, and Houston just gets blown off the ball. Just an absolute debacle of protection. And boom. Oh, cannot let our quarterback get hit like that. All right, looks like they were in some type of cover 2 modified matchup thing, because on this side it's clearly a cover 2. You can see because hang on, if my stylus will work. Because this corner decides to play flat as this guy goes up. This guy kind of covers here. This guy's, as you can see, the safeties are really wide. So I know for sure this is a cover 2. And then this side, it looks like a cover 2 man. On this side, it looks like just a regular cover 2. Wester comes in and runs a dig here, and Shador is inaccurate with it. Shador has to put that ball in front of Wester, especially if they're given that man look. Let him outrun his man, because those crossing routes are tough to cover in man coverage, right? You can see, boom, Wester is right there. Okay. What do we see here? This guy's over here playing that deep half. He's not going to be able. He'd have a lot of space to close down in order to get there. We have this guy playing trail technique. So as this guy's coming here, Shador, I want you to put it on a rope over here so you can catch it and turn up. Instead, Shador kind of puts it almost on him, maybe a little bit behind him, and that allows for the DB to make a play on it. Not ideal. So I don't know how many times I have to show that attacking the flats didn't work against the defense, but attacking the flats did not work against this defense, and we continued to call plays into the flats. We got to be smarter than that, right? Like, we had one play that worked, and it was because Draylon Miller made a guy miss, not because scheme-wise it was open. I don't see the logic of going back to it over and over and over again. This is a great rep to show how good Baylor's DBs were all night, right? Like they drop into a cover 2 once again, okay, right? Very much outside the hash, way outside here, okay. So the middle of the field is open. Now, Travis does come in and run a little dig, which you think would come open. The safety does a great job of recognizing that's the deepest route and then cutting him off. And then the rest of the time, the DBs everywhere just continue to play blanket coverage. This is the one where Shador slips out of like 3 would-be sacks and then rushes for like 13 yards. Just watch the DBs here. There's no one that comes open. Okay, covered. Look at the way that safety recognizes that's the deepest route. I'm going to come up on him. We have, right, like bracketed, nothing there. Bracketed, nothing there. White on Rice, nothing there. White on Rice, nothing there. Where's Shador supposed to go with the ball? Okay, it's just nothing. Nothing is open. Okay, so now he's scrambling. So now we're running scramble drill. Even in scramble drill, right? These guys are running. Still bracketed, okay? Still covered, and bracketed, still covered. Completely out of the play, by the way, Will Shepherd. Okay? And then we keep watching, okay? Oh, okay. Now we're running back this way. There might be someone open, but now Shador's running to his left. This is a way harder throw. So we have this guy maybe coming open. This guy's still pretty well covered. This guy's still pretty well covered. And this guy's still already pretty well covered. And this guy's still pretty well covered. There's just nothing that came open the whole play. Their DBs are for real. Just take off. Yeah, get what you can. Impressive. Earlier in the video, I said I would love to see Shador throw into the middle of the field with a little bit of anticipation. That's exactly what we got here. So again, a 3-by-1 look, right? This guy's coming right here, and you can see Shador lets it go before he's even by this guy and just layers it right in there. okay, to avoid him getting just lit up by two safeties. Great read, great throw by Shedeur here. Boom. Excellent. Excellent. That's the look, right? That's the power of the iPads that I think we can see is, they were able to do what I'm doing now on the sidelines and be like, that should be open, and Shore was able to execute it. Here's the touchdown play with Marion Miller. On the first watch, I thought this was a much worse rep from Seton. I mean, he does get beat, but again, he never quits, and him continuing to push that guy is what allowed Shedeur to escape. That sprung that whole play. So I think that Jordan deserves his flowers here. Never giving in, just like the fight zone says. When we watch from that back angle, you'll be able to see it pretty clearly, right? 10 gets by him pretty quick. Boom, keeps pushing. Shedeur is able to escape. Excellent job, kid. Excellent job. Okay, so that'll be the first half. I am running out of time because this took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. If you like it, comment, let me know. Did I miss anything, egregious or, something that you wanted to see a little bit more in depth? We'll see what we can do, see if we can pull up that film. I do have access to the other games film as well. So if you want to see some previous games, we look at the breakdowns there. Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe. Great to hear from all the people that are followers.